Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Plenty video. Today we're going to be talking all about my wish list, things that I had on my wish list for 2023, what I managed to cross off, and then we're also going to be looking at what's on my wish list for 2024. And I cannot believe that we are already in the realm of end of year content, which is actually some of my favorite content. I love anything to do with like wrap ups or looking back, reflecting, planning for the new year, setting goals. I just love the feeling of the end of the year. So I love watching other people's end of year videos, and I also love making end of year themed videos myself. So if you have any requests for anything you would like to see me do over the next few weeks, leave it down below in the comments because I would love to hear what you want to see and to get some more ideas. Anyways, like I said, today we're talking wish list plants, baby, and I did pretty darn well this year. I went a little bit crazy this year. I'll be the first one to say it. I got a lot of new plants. I got a comment the other day on one of my videos saying that my plant collection has grown so much since I moved, and it's true. It really has. You know, upgrading to a little bit larger of a space just really got the planty yearning happening. Should I even be making a wish list for next year at all? Probably not, because I have way too many plants already, to be quite honest with you. And I will preface this video by saying that I'm so grateful and content with all of the plants that I have. Like, even if I don't get any more plants, it's fine, because I love all of the plants that I have, and there's always something to be done with them. Things are always changing, things are always growing, you know, like there's enough here to keep me satisfied forever, honestly. But how fun is it to have a wish list, right? So of course I always have one. I have a running list in the notes on my phone that I just add, you know, whenever I see a plant that I like. I also have a folder or an album, I guess, where I save photos that I like of plants on Instagram. So yeah, I'm always, you know, always keeping new plants in mind. Also, how cute is my Christmas tree? This is my first year having like my own Christmas tree that's not my mom's. My first time putting up a Christmas tree in my own space. So yeah, I think it's so fun. If you watch my vlog channel, I included some of the decorating clips in there. But yeah, it just adds to the nice cozy December vibes. Also drinking my matcha. Life is good. Also, I just realized as I'm sitting here talking about how I don't need any more new plants, I literally have a box of plants that I need to unbox after I'm done filming this video. Send help. Okay, so I looked back on the video that I made last year, and I'll link that down below in the description box if you want to watch that one as well. But the second part of that video is me talking about the plants that I have on my wish list for 2023. I had 7 on my wish list, and I managed to cross off 5 of them, which honestly, I'm quite impressed by. Like 5 out of 7, that's pretty darn good. And I feel like I really got spoiled with the ones that I got. So yeah, let's start. The number 1 plant that was on my wish list for this year, 2023, was Filadrin Marmalade. Marmalade. I was able to obtain this through a trade in July, and this was, like I said, my number 1 wish list plant. I wanted one so badly. If you're not familiar with Filadrin Marmalade, they have almost a similar variegation to the Painted Lady Philodendron. I always kind of like group them together, like as though they're similar, but they're really not that similar now that I have both of them. But they do have a similar kind of variegation pattern and variegation colors. So it has this gorgeous like mottled kind of yellowy orange variegation, and the new leaves come in bright orange. Like, they are stunning, and then they kind of fade to green over time. So not only is the coloring of this plant beautiful, but it also can get massive, much bigger than the Painted Lady. And the reason I keep talking about the Painted Lady as well is because I really love Philodendron Painted Lady. I fell in love with it a few years ago, and it's been in my collection since then. So of course, when I saw the Philodendron Orange Marmalade, which is like the Painted Lady on steroids, I was like, I absolutely need that. And yeah, so it was on my wish list like as soon as I saw it, and it like came into my orbit, and then I ended up getting it, like I said. And I feel so lucky to have it, and through a trade at that. And it's doing great. It's been a really easygoing philodendron so far. Only good things to say about it. All right, so the next plant on my wish list was Aglaonema. Oh, can you hear Cadence? She's groaning. Oh my goodness. I have to show you her right now, I just have to. Anyways, the second plant on my wish list was Aglaonema Manila's Pride, which is a variegated Aglaonema commutatum. The commutatum is a common form of Aglaonema, I suppose, but the variegated version is quite hard to find, at least here in Canada. I don't see them pop up super often. That being said, somehow I managed to get my hands on 2 separate plants of this year, which is just crazy. So I actually ordered one when I saw it pop up on North Shore Tropicals. I think it was actually at the very end of 2022 that I ordered this, so technically I got it a little bit before this year, but it was on my wish list and I just happened to get it like at the very end of the year. But I ordered that one and I actually ended up struggling with it quite a bit for the next like 4 or 5 months. It's doing better now. And then in the summertime, I was sent a package by We Pot Plants, and that package also had a Aglaonema Manila's Pride in it. And it was a really pretty one. Like, the variegation is so stunning on that one. I'm so freaking glad that I got it. So I've ended up potting them both together, and I'm just so glad that I have that plant. It really is, like, if you're into variegated plants, I highly recommend that one for a few reasons. Typically Aglaonema are pretty easy to grow, and that one's been super easy going for me. I know I said I had a lot of trouble with the first one that I got, and I don't know what was going on with that. It ended up rotting on me, and then I had to reroot it, but I was able to reroot it, and now it's potted and growing and it's fine. And then the second one I haven't had any issues with. So I think that was just kind of a one-off, that I struggled with the first one a little bit. But yeah, it's so easy going now, and the variegation is just, it's top tier. It's so creamy, it's so white, and you get the variegation combined with the like silvery, beautiful Aglaonema commutatum foliage. So it's just, it is so pretty. I highly recommend, if you're interested in that plant, to grab one. Oh, and the other reason I was thinking in my head is just the growth pattern. You don't have to worry about a moss pole or anything like that. It's just easy peasy, and I love that. The next plant on my list is just an orchid. I was thinking of getting, you know, some type of Phalaenopsis orchid, and that's exactly what I did. So I did manage to cross an orchid off of my wish list this year. I ended up getting a mini Phalaenopsis, which I had for a few months, and then it unfortunately died after I moved. I don't know what happened. It got neglected, it dried out, and it just, yeah, it didn't make it, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed it when I had it, and it definitely sparked my interest in orchids. And now there's something that I kind of want to learn more about and look into more varieties. I've actually purchased a second orchid since then. If you saw my Crystal Star Nursery haul, I got a Bulbophyllum orchid, which is living right here in my Millsbo wide cabinet, and I'm determined to keep that one alive. I've been watching it like a hawk because I really want it to grow. I really want it to thrive so that I can see its incredible blooms one day, because they're just so cool and unique. So so I got 2 orchids this year, which is very fun. I could really see myself getting into them more in the future because I love flowering plants so much. Blooms make me really happy. So yeah, I could see that being something that I get into a little further. Next, we have String of Pearls, and again, I super lucked out with this one because I actually got 2 String of Pearls this year. I got a beautiful, healthy, lush green one, which I love so much, and again, I got that in a trade, the same trade actually that I got the Filadrin Marmalade in, so I really lucked out for that. But yeah, it's doing amazing. I love it. I'm so happy to have a String of Pearls again. But I also got a variegated String of Pearls this year as well. So I have both of the varieties, which makes me super happy. I just think that I don't know, they're just a staple. They kind of remind me of when I was first getting into plants because they were really popular then, and then it seems like they've kind of lost popularity. And I didn't have one for a long time, but I've just always loved them. I think that they're so unique. Of course, the foliage is so different than, you know, pretty much every other plant. So yeah, I just love them, and I'm so excited to continue to grow mine out. Hopefully I'll have a really big one day. Next on my list was Hoya Pratorii, and this is, I guess, one of the first ones that I did not cross off of my wish list this year, which is fairly unsurprising because these are so hard to find in Canada. Like, I mean, pretty much non-existent. I've never seen one for sale. I feel like it's kind of one of these plants where you have to know someone, or like, yeah, get it through a trade or something like that. Just like know someone, I guess, that has one. This is a Hoya that I definitely want because of the blooms. I love the blooms. They're so cool. And yeah, just a really unique Hoya. And it's funny because I used to really only buy Hoya for the foliage, but lately I've been getting a lot more into Hoya blooms, particularly pink Hoya blooms, but the Pratorii is like I think like an orange and white bloom. or just like unique blooms, like really like fuzzy, fluffy blooms or different shapes, sizes. You know, there's just, the Hoya world has so many different flowers to offer, and I never really used to be into it, but now I'm into it. I mean, I've always appreciated when my Hoyas bloomed, but I primarily purchased them for their foliage. But lately I have just been, yeah, a lot more interested in Hoya blooms, I guess. Anyways, like I said, didn't manage to cross that off, but I'm not in any hurry, and you know, whenever it comes to me, it will come to me. Next on my list was the Moranta Silver Band, and this has also been on my wish list for a while, and I did manage to cross it off this year, which kind of blew my mind. However, it promptly died. I got a cutting and it just would not root for me, which was bizarre because I very rarely have problems rooting things. But this one just did not want to take, so unfortunately I lost it. Something I still want to have eventually. You know, I love silver plants, I love Moranta, and yeah, I'm sure I'll get one again. But I'm still checking it off because I technically got it, so I'm giving myself the point for that. And then the last thing on my list is another one that's been on my wish list for quite some time, like, yeah, years now, and I've just never gotten one, and it is the Bonia Milano. So this is the really spiky looking begonia. They are so freaking cool. And these I do see for sale sometimes. They're pretty expensive still, and it's mostly just like begonia specific sellers, like that kind of, those kind of people that sell them. So they're hard to find on just on like the websites that I usually shop on. Like I usually order from Plant Haven Toronto or North Shore Tropicals or Crystal Star Nursery, and I've never seen any of those ones stock it, or else I would probably have it by now. I mean, that's probably the case with most of these plants. But yeah, definitely one that I'll probably have one day, because whenever the time is right, I will get one. I just think that they're so cool. It's just a plant that's very up my alley. I love begonia, I love weird plants, and yeah, it's just such a cool one. So that recaps my wish list for this year, 2023. Like I said, I feel like I did amazingly, and I also got so many other plants that I really wanted, or I didn't even know I wanted, but now I got and I love, that weren't on this wish list. So yeah, I'm just so grateful for everything that I have received this year, whether it was gifted or through a trade or that I purchased. Yeah, I feel really lucky to have the collection that I do. All right, so next we are moving into the plants that I have on my wish list for 2024. And it looks like I have about 10 plants on this wish list. And it was actually kind of hard to narrow down because, like I said, I have that notes app thing and then also that folder on Instagram. And there's a lot more than 10 plants on there, but I just tried to pick out the ones that I really could either see myself getting or just, I don't know, that stood out to me as something that I really want or that I've been wanting for a while type of thing. And the first one on this list is a plant that I've wanted. This actually might be the plant that's been on my wish list the longest. And that is the Syngonium Frosted Heart. I don't know why I don't have this yet. I never see them for sale. I guess that's why. I never see them for sale. I never see anyone have them. And it's weird because, like I said, this has been on my wish list pretty much since the beginning. And the reason it was on my wish list so early is because I used to see people have them all the time. I used to always see them posted. I love them. I love the like frosted coloring to it. I love the heart-shaped leaf. They're so stunning when they're climbing. They're such pretty plants, and I used to see people post about them a lot more than I do now, and I don't know what's up with that. Like, what happened to all of the frosted hearts? I don't know. But yeah, these seem to be elusive. I really just don't see them around, but 2024, I really want to put some effort into finding one and getting one because, like I said, it's been on my list for, this is gonna be like year 5 or something of me wanting this plant. Next on my list, I just wrote terrarium begonia because just in general, I really want to get more terrarium begonia. There's so many that I want. They're so cool. I love the colors. I love how velvety or how shiny and iridescent they are. I just love so many varieties, but one that I specifically had written down was Begonia chloristicta. I just think this one looks so cool. Again, has that like, you know, classic kind of poisonous look. It's so pretty. I love that one. So I have that on my list. And then I also have Begonia Pink Urchin on my list, which I'm less confident that I would be able to get because I don't see them very often. In fact, yeah, I don't know if I've ever even seen one for sale. I've just seen a few people post photos of them, and this basically looks like the Begonia Milano Ballata, but pink. And like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I feel like I need this plant. I'm really having a moment Like I said, I'm really into the pink Hoya blooms right now, but I'm also just into pink plants in general. Yeah, if it's pink, if it has a pink flower, I love that. So begonia pink urchin, I would love to have this plant. Next on my list is Alocasia watsoniana, and I always kind of crack up whenever I say that I want this plant because I featured this in one of my plants I hate or plants I dislike videos like years ago. I just hated it. I don't know what changed. Our tastes change. That's happened to me a few times. Like the the Philodendron Brantianum was on that list before as well, and now I have one and I love it. And the what else? Jewel orchids, and now I have a jewel orchid that I love. There's been lots. Like my taste has changed so much. So yeah, it's just kind of funny because I used to hate this alocasia, but now I love it. I'm obsessed. Give it to me, please. The velvety version, which is the, oh my goodness, it has a certain name. It's the Alocasia watsoniana. I want to say like Dunn or something. I'll put it on the screen, but there's a specific variety which indicates that it's the velvety version, and that is particularly the one that's on my wish list. So if I ever come across one, I'll honestly probably just buy it because I never ever see them for sale, and I just think that it's so up my alley and so cool. So who knows if I'll ever find one, but yeah, I love those. I actually have a corm. Somebody gifted me an Alocasia watsoniana corm, and usually I'm pretty successful with corms, but for some reason this one just does not want to sprout. It's not dead, like it's still firm, so I'm still holding out hope, and I have it close to a grow light, just, you know, crossing my fingers that it's gonna grow. Maybe it will in the spring, I don't know. But yeah, it hasn't done anything for me yet, so this plant remains on my wish list. Okay, next let's do a couple of philodendron. That's kind of crazy. I only have 2 philodendron. 2 out of 10 plants are philodendron on this list, which is kind of crazy because philodendron is my favorite genus, but I feel like, I don't know. I'm not over philodendron. Like, I still love them so much and they're still my favorite, I think, but I'm definitely branching into more different plants and like getting into different varieties more than I was before, I suppose. But I do have a couple, of course, on my wish list, and the first one I've talked about before, and it is the Philodendron Jose Bono. I have just been waiting for one, the perfect specimen. I want one that has good variegation. I'm not messing around. I'm willing to wait for the one that I want. And 2, just one that's at the right price. And I found one that checked off one of those boxes, and I wanted it so badly. But I just couldn't bring myself to spend on it because I'm sure it's something that if I wait long enough, I'll be able to get in a trade or something. So that's kind of, I don't know, it's one that I've just been holding out on. And it's also one that I'm not in a super rush to get because it is a philodendron. It's gonna need a pole, it's gonna take up space. So I just haven't been feeling super settled like this year in general. So I'm not in like a huge rush to get it, but I will be very happy when I find my perfect philodendron Jose Bono. The second philodendron that I have on this list is actually one that I'm really keen to find and that I'm really hoping I will find kind of sooner than later, honestly, because I really, really love it. And it's the Philodendron Patriciae, which is like a pendant philodendron, essentially. It has really elongated leaves and it is just so, so gorgeous. It's really different than any philodendron that I have, which is the reason that I want it. And if you're a regular viewer, then you would know I love my pendant Anthurium or my strappy Anthurium. They are my favorites. I just love long strappy leaves. So I don't have anything like that in philodendron version, which is why I really want this one. So hopefully I'll be able to get it. They definitely pop up much more than they used to. So, you know, I'm sure one will come into my orbit sometime soon. Next, I have a couple of Hoya. The first one is Hoya Angela. This is one that I have always kind of had my eye on, and I actually had one for a brief moment a couple of years ago, but it croaked on me, and yeah, it just could not be saved. It went downhill so fast, and apparently they can be a Hoya that's a little bit more finicky, so I don't know whether that was the case or whether I was just inexperienced or not giving it the proper care, but yeah, it croaked on me. So back on the wish list it goes. I would love to have Hoya Angela. This is one that really checks all the boxes for me when it comes to Hoya because it has a really unique It has like that crusty, dusty, weird leaf type that, you know, people either love or hate in Hoya. I love it. And then it also has a really cool bloom. Yeah, I would just love to have this Hoya. It is so gorgeous, especially when they get bigger and people have them trellised and stuff. It is just, they are stunning. So, you know, this is an attainable one in the sense that I see them pop up frequently, but they usually are like around $100. So they're kind of expensive still, which is basically the main reason that I don't have one yet. And then the second Hoya on my list has been my most recent obsession since I came across it the other day. And it is the Hoya Suana. I don't know if that's how you say it, but oh my goodness, this Hoya needs to win a prize for its blooms. Like, I have never seen anything like it before. It is so crazy. And I need this Hoya, okay? I need this Hoya. It has the fluffy, like fuzzy, feathery look that I love in a Hoya bloom. And it's also pink. So what could be better? Literally nothing. And it also has pretty leaves too. So this is a plant that's very high on my wish list. I should have ranked them of like the ones I want the most. That would be really hard though, because they're obviously like my top 10 plants on my wish list. But anyways, yeah, this Hoya is just incredible. I've heard they can be a little bit tricky to grow. If you have this one, if you have any of these plants, leave me a comment down below. I want to know all of your thoughts and all of your tips and everything on them. But yeah, hopefully I get that one. Next, I just wrote variegated monstera, and I'm mostly thinking about Monstera albo. If you watched my recent walkthrough updates video, I mentioned that I really am in the market for, or at least keeping my eye out for, a really beautifully variegated Monstera albo, because I feel like I have, you know, I have given a solid try to growing my Monstera albo, and I've chopped it up, tried to get more variegation, done this and that, and it just hasn't happened for me. Unfortunately, it just keeps reverting, and I really just want like a really marbly, beautiful Monstera albo. So it's nothing that I'm in a rush to get, but when I see the right one, and I feel like this is the big difference about like how I used to buy plants to how I buy plants now. I used to just like, say I'd be looking for a certain plant, I'd see it pop up and I'd just grab it without putting any thought into like, is this the specific one that I want? Whereas now I'm a lot more choosy. Like, I'm willing to wait for the specimen that I want. And I feel like that really pays off in the long run. It feels so much better to actually get one with like all the features and, you know, the variegation, everything that you want, rather than just getting something because it's like technically that plant and you like hope that it's gonna grow into something you love. Yeah, that's something I've kind of learned. And yeah, I'm willing to wait. My Monstera albo I got in like 2020 when it was, you know, you had to just buy things like that because you'd like refresh the website as soon as the restock happened, and you'd have to check out your cart like that. You couldn't even think, you would just have to buy. So that was the age of where my Monstera albo came from. So yeah, new Monstera albo, hopefully. And I also have talked about wanting like a creamier, like a more highly variegated Thai, but that's not really a priority. Like, if I did come across a really nice one for a good price, I'd probably get it, but I love my Thai. And I think the variegation is decent. It's not like a super creamy one, like the creme brulee or whatever they call them, but like it's decent. I'm happy with it. And then also under this category of variegated monstera is a variegated Monstera adansonii, because mine, all the cuttings just reverted on me, and I didn't have a lot of success with that. But I do really want a variegated adansonii because it's one of my top favorite plants like of all time, and I just think the variegated ones are so pretty, and I would love to have one that's not super white. Like, we need a good marbled one, you know? Okay, only 2 more plants on here. We have an Anthurium, which is the only Anthurium I think on this list. There's so many Anthurium that I see. Like, I'm definitely more into Anthurium than I was before, but there's so many that I see, but I still just like, I don't know, I don't have a great grasp on all of the names and everything. So I'll see one and I'll be like, wow, that's like so stunning. I know the characteristics that I like in them, like, you know, super dark velvety, everybody likes that. But so there's lots that I like would want, but since I already have so many young Anthurium that are like still growing up and haven't like fully expressed all their traits and everything, I'm kind of good on like getting those types of Anthurium, I guess. I'm just gonna wait and grow mine out and see. But I did put one that is not dark and velvety on my list, and it is Anthurium VG. That's my one wishlist Anthurium for this year. And I don't know, I just want one. I keep seeing photos of them that I love and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just give it a go. And I'm also drawn towards it because I've heard that it's really easy as far as Anthurium go. So yeah, I don't know, I kind of want one. I think that they're fun, and I think that it could be really enjoyable to grow and also just add something different to my collection. I don't have any Anthurium like that, so yeah, that's one that I've kind of been keeping my eye out for the past couple of months. I haven't got one yet, obviously. I've been tempted a couple times, but I'm holding out. But maybe next year will be the year that I get one. And then the last one on my list is definitely the most unattainable, well, price-wise, I'm gonna say. And that is an Alocasia Black Velvet Pink Variegated. Oh my goodness, I die for photos and videos of these plants. Like, they are so pretty. A dream plant for me, like an absolute dream plant. Y'all know how much I love my variegated dragon scale. I love my variegated Frydek. Like, variegated Alocasia are very, very up my alley. Probably those are like some of the most exciting plants that I got this year. Speaking of wishlist plants, see what I mean? Like, there's so many crazy plants that I got this year that weren't even on my wishlist for 2023 because they seemed so unattainable. Like, when I was making my 2023 wish list, I never would have put variegated Alocasia dragon scale on it because I just never would have fathomed that I'd be able to get one, and I literally have one sitting in my cabinet now, so crazy things happen. But anyways, the Black Velvet Pink Variegated, it's not something that I'm like actively seeking out. Obviously, they're very expensive, but my Black Velvet, my regular one, is actually growing now because it's in self-watering, so that seems to be the answer for me. So now that that's growing well, apparently I've decided I need a variegated one. No, but the pink one particularly, like I said, I'm obsessed with pink plants right now. I'm obsessed any kind of pink variegation, especially on Alocasia, but particularly the Black Velvet. It's so incredible. It doesn't even look real. I'm hoping that variegated Alocasia will become more accessible though, now that more people are getting them and selling corms, or like growing the corms out and selling the baby plants and stuff like that, so you never know. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know what's on your wish list for next year, so leave me a comment down below and let me know. Even if I don't get any of these plants next year, it's still fun to just talk about and to admire them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I have a package of plants to unbox, so that could be the next video that's going up, so stay tuned. Like I said, I warned y'all. I said I have a lot of unboxings coming, and this is another one. Anyways, all right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!